Hey everyone, my name is Dante and welcome back to Story Hub, your hub for the best stories on Reddit. This story is about my friend mother-in-law and her wedding. Strap in guys, this is a wild ride in which I did the thing that got me banned from any of her family functions. Plus a few threats of dismemberment and bodily harm. A good friend of mine from university was getting married. They had been a couple since junior year of college, through her 2 years in the Peace Corps and currently her return to this continent. 6 years in total. She had been to all manner of family functions and always came back with a strange story about how she thinks her mother-in-law secretly hates her. But she, being a very quiet and sweet person, pushed those thoughts aside. Point 1. She is vegetarian and Jewish, husband is not. She was invited and went to Christmas dinner and figured she would just eat sides. As well, she brought a vegetarian casserole. Mother-in-law. After knowing her for 3 years and being told by husband a few weeks before about not to forget friend doesn't eat meat, proceeded to put meat in every dish. Friend drank water and ate her casserole the whole night while mother-in-law cried to everyone that friend was so rude for not eating her cooking. Anyway, back to the story. A few friends and I were asked to be at the wedding. Friend has a huge family and so this was not going to be a small affair. Neither of them is particularly religious, but a friend said it would be nice to be married under a huppah. Think an arbor but 4 poles and covered with a white cloth and lots of flowers. Husband said he could care less and told her to go and rent one for the wedding. I was at the bridal shower when mother-in-law found out the pretty canopy was actually a huppah. She almost lost her shot in front of a bunch of people, but managed to compose herself and laugh angrily that if the Jews were being represented so would the Catholics. In my head I heard a record screech, guys, they aren't Catholic. So after much fighting, a lot of screaming, crying, threatening to pull money, which is funny because she contributed nothing, mother-in-law lost. The boot was firmly placed, and nothing was moving it. Huppah yes, Catholic priest no. Things got stupid quiet. My friend texts me the night before the wedding that she has a bad feeling. I tell her it's probably just nerves. She is getting married and this is a big deal. Oh, how wrong I was. We all show up, get our hair and makeup done, slip into our bridesmaid dresses and hang out waiting for the bride to be finished with her hair. She makes a comment saying she hadn't seen mother-in-law all day and that she skipped her hair and makeup appointment. We all side-eyed each other, took a few sips of wine and hoped the eerie feeling would go away. 30 minutes later, as we are helping the bride into her dress, guess who shows up? If you guessed mother-in-law, you win a cookie. Flushed from coming up the stairs, she is not a light woman, in full hair and makeup ... and a white dress. Not ivory, not cream, full snow fucking white. The dress was clearly a wedding dress. It was even from David's bridal, which she would later shout at me. Floor-length satin with a sweetheart beaded top, a bit of a train and off-white lace on the bottom. The dress was even tailored to her. This has been a long con she has orchestrated. The bride burst into tears and aunts and friends ushered mother-in-law out. We did our best to console the bride, touched up her makeup, and I made her promise that the dress would never be seen in a photo. She looked me dead in the eye and nodded. The game was on. The venue only supplied white wine and champagne for the wedding party, but I grabbed my purse and ran down into the reception area and managed to flag an attendant by the bar and bribe him with a cool $20 to give me a bottle of red early. I cracked the baby open, filled a solo cup to the brim with it and stalked outside. After a few swigs from the bottle for courage, I went over to where everyone was getting ready to take photos. With one last hard stare at my friend, I got her nod of approval. I pulled out my phone, held it in front of my face like I was reading a text and walked straight into mother-in-law. I poured the entire cup of red wine down the front of her dress, jumped back and gasped. The look on her face was murderous. She screamed, yelled, threatened, and promised she would sue me. People had to hold her back because she wanted to fight me. Eventually she switched from screaming to sobbing and sank to the ground and threw a tantrum on the floor. Everyone moved back and just let her go at it and walked away to go take photos. It was surreal, as if everyone just hit their limit and noped out from around her. Really quick, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like. The 12-year-old flower girl whipped out her phone and snapped a few photos much to our amusement. This is already super long, but I will say that mother-in-law went home and changed, only 20 minutes from venue, into a nice dark green, too small and low-cut dress. Because of this she missed all of the photos. Wedding was beautiful. I got death glares from everyone. She told that I attacked her with wine. No fucks were given as I drank and danced with friends. Bride thanked me in secret and 3 months later took me to the spa for a day of pampering. But I am officially that ISIS cunt to mother-in-law, and I'll take it with pride. Not the idiot. My mother CFBL, the creature from the Black Lagoon, showed up to my wedding in a white gown. Before she got through the door, our photographer stopped her and told her that she would not be in any pictures in that gown. Today belongs to the bride. They turned on a dime and left. Okay, so they got back at me by destroying my car while I was on my honeymoon. But hey, crazy is as crazy does. Not the idiot. I would have just zonked her out with some drug and put her in the corner for the whole wedding. It would be funny to see how angry she would get when she heard no one minded that she was out of it. Not the idiot. If I were the bride, I'd be damn happy to have you for a friend, and make sure you could come to every damn event I could possibly take you to rub it in that cunt's face. How does the husband feel about his mother's child of a mother? And TAS, someone whose own mother got arrested at my brother's wedding for attempting to beat the shot out of him and chasing him around the church. Made national news and WTF sections, and there is a lot more to the story. I am raising my mug in your name. You are awesome and no dried up twat can change that. I was 12 or 13 at the time and wish I could have done the same to my own mother. Now for the next story. I think this qualifies. I worked at a small shop serving an electrical apprenticeship. Myself and the shop manager had had a few run-ins and I assume he disliked me as much as I disliked him. I had refused to do a job and told him he didn't pay me enough. It was at the stockyards and I was expected to put on a set of waders, crawl down into a raw fat reclamation tank, and replace a submersible pump. Wasn't going to happen. Another time he wanted me to lie to a customer to make an issue they were having sound like it wasn't our fault. I refused and told him if you want to lie about it, he was going to have to drive out to the job site and do it himself. He told me to keep my mouth shut and did come out. I think the only reason he didn't fire me was I was by far one of the most efficient and versatile employees. This fact had me questioning how much I was getting out of this apprenticeship and was passively looking around for another shop to apprentice at. My wage scale was structured and I got regular raises bringing me closer to journeyman's level over my time as an apprentice. So, I had to find someone that would sign up to complete my apprenticeship as well as want to hire me. One of our better journeymen had gone to another shop and had introduced me to the owners. We had talked about what it would take to get me to move. Things were progressing but nothing committed to at that point. Quite the malicious compliance. It's my evaluation and raise time. My manager calls me up to the conference room and explains that due to my performance and the shop being in a slow period he was not going to give me the 25 cents an hour raise as my contract said but was going to give me $1 more an hour once I became a journeyman. We argued and I told him if I can't trust you for a quarter why would I believe the dollar. The argument ended in him telling me if you don't like it you can always quit. Oh really? I picked up the conference room phone on the table in front of us and called the shop I had been talking with. I asked the owner if I brought my tools over today would I have a job. After a quick and uncomfortable discussion with his partner he said yes. I informed my manager I resigned effective now. I loaded my tools up, punched out and went straight to work that afternoon. Not the idiot. One of the reasons why I love being an electrician. 3 decades. So many once-in-a-lifetime economic crashes. Never, not even once have I been unemployed longer than it took to make a phone call. Not the idiot. Last time I needed a job, I waited till my first day unemployed before I started looking. It was a Thursday. I was getting dressed for work first thing in the morning and the missus asked me where I was going. When I told her I was going to get a job, she looked pretty worried. She didn't think getting a job was going to be easy. Not the idiot. All my teachers told me not to be an electrician. Hell, even my parents weren't into it, but stories like these are the reason why I'm so glad I chose what I chose. Enjoy being unemployed, losers. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe.